You're green.
Finally! Ha ha! Nailed it.
That's my line.
What is going on, guys? It is Cabal Culture Smasher, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we will be covering the worldwide phenomenon, the Broadway musical turned film known as Wicked. Now, just for some background clarification, if some of you guys are not familiar, Wicked was originally a famous, infamous Broadway musical, known for its high notes and its complex take on the role of the Wicked Witch of the West, and this is now being adapted to a film. Now, I myself have actually seen the show both on national tour and on Broadway.
Ha! Gay!
Yes, I know, go ahead and make fun of me in the comments all you want, but I must tell you that as someone who is an actor myself, I do appreciate really good theater when I see it. And from what I'm hearing from those who have seen the film adaptation of Wicked, I myself have not seen it yet, that it does adapt the musical exceptionally well, even actually expanding more of the story that was not shown in the stage production, because originally Wicked was actually a fan fiction novel of what if the Wicked Witch was a misunderstood anti-hero type of thing, or villain in this case, and from what I'm hearing, the film actually takes more of those elements that was not seen in the show and stretches them out from the book, which is the reason why the story is a two-parter. That is a questionable decision, to say the least, which I will get into in a little bit. In the meantime, let's go over some of these box office numbers. So according to Deadline, Wicked is well on its way to earning $165 million on its global opening weekend for the international box office. That, for a budget of only $150, is really, really good. And it shows sometimes, if you don't make the best film, but if you just make a film that has a moderate budget and it's entertaining enough where audiences will want to come see it, you're going to make bank. Now, luckily for Wicked, has a lot going for it, right? It's already a pre-established franchise, and given that the film is very CGI heavy, I don't think they really had to build quite a lot of sets here, which always saves a little bit on production costs overall, meaning that budget was lower and the pre-established franchise is just going to roll right in, and that's going to give them even more money, right? So it says here, Universal's Wicked is sitting pretty in its global debut, now with a projected $165 million through Sunday. As expected, the bulk of the bucks going into the Witch's Cauldron is coming from North America, with the anticipated split at 117 domestic and 48 million from the international box office. Let's go over that again. 117 million for domestic opening weekend. That is a really good figure, actually. Normally, Wicked is a huge show, especially in the West End, right? And even in Asia, like Japan, China, there's productions of Wicked all over the world, actually. But for the U.S. box office alone, that's sitting pretty good right now. Globally, Wicked will see the biggest opening weekend for a film based on a Broadway adaptation, ahead of Les Miserables, 103 million, the sixth biggest opening weekend of 2024 worldwide, and the fourth biggest opening weekend ever globally for a musical, ahead of The Little Mermaid. Blah. Moving on. Internationally, Wicked is landing within the pre-opening range. The film is out in only 61 overseas markets, repping 65% of the offshore footprint. Such majors as France, China, Germany, and Japan have yet to release the film. Still, in launch markets, Wicked is on its way to the top start for a film based on a Broadway adaptation, ahead of Les Mis. The $48 million overseas estimate also reps the sixth biggest opening weekend of all time for the international box office for a musical, ahead of Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and the seventh biggest opening weekend ever overseas for a musical. Wow. Well, I'm not really going to go into the rest of the article because you kind of understand the general idea, but the important thing to take notice of is that in spite of all of this film's controversies, right, in spite of those early trailers where the CGI really kind of looked like dog shit, in spite of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo both running their mouths talking about how queer Oz is going to be, that Oz is now, very, very queer, like they said in that one interview, and then Cynthia Erivo, worst of all, attacking the actual fan base of Wicked when she went after that movie poster because someone dared to make it look more like the original Broadway cover. that somehow this film is well on its way to being a huge success, right? Now, right now, that's a really strong domestic box office opening weekend. The important thing is word of mouth. From what I'm hearing, word of mouth for the film is very strong. I haven't actually had a chance to check out the film yet myself, and actually the reason being because of Cynthia Erivo running her mouth. Honestly, I'd feel a lot more enthusiasm to go see it if not for her. But that certainly has not seemed to distract from anyone that's actually watched the film, and so far, word of mouth has been really, really good. They're saying that it's a really good adaptation, faithful to the lore, and that most of all, they just seem to actually care. The creatives of the film seem to actually care about the audience that they're pandering to. Now, if only the rest of Hollywood could learn these lessons. Do you see how easy it is to actually do things right and make profit from it when you actually try to, pay reverence to the people that are paying you, like, your money for your salaries and shit? I mean, it's really not that hard, but Hollywood finds a way to make it more complicated every time. I believe overall that positive word of mouth is just going to feed into next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. I think that 4 day weekend is really going to be doing a lot of good stuff for that film overall. A lot of people are going to be talking about talking to their families about how good the film is. Like, oh, let's go see it on Thanksgiving weekend. Some people will even want to go see it again because usually with musical films that tends to happen quite a bit. Um, it's just sad, it's really sad actually. I'm glad people are actually enjoying this film, even if they may object to some of the casting, especially Cynthia Erivo, who's clearly too old to be playing a college freshman, by the way. But overall, they actually listened, they actually did what they could, and they actually paid respects to what came before, and that is the important thing. And another thing of note also is that they met their target demographic, right? When you actually try to tell a female story for women rather than making male stories like Star Wars and Marvel into girl brands and turn the male audience away, then you can actually have more of a chance of success. Not only are these, male dominated brands now being turned into female brands, but they're actively telling the men that it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to leave, something that you actually have been a fan of for decades sometimes, and they're telling you you are not welcome here. You are a fan of this no longer. And it's no wonder then that Hollywood is just tanking left and right and center because they don't know how to actually cater to people that want to watch their stuff anymore. Why? Because they hate you. And that is the one thing to take away from all of this. These people hate you. And occasionally, like in the case of Wicked, or in better terms, Top Gun Maverick, they know how to make something good. The problem is the majority just don't want to, because they think that they are above you. If they really wanted to make something good all the time, trust me, they would. But that means they can't push their messages because that means less people tune into their films, and thus they don't have the money to keep the machine going. Well, anyway, guys, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I want to see where this channel keeps going, from week to week as I keep it updated. But in the meantime, hope you guys just enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'm probably going to take off on this channel for a bit as well for the holiday, and then I'll get right back into making videos again. So, thanks, guys. Hope for the best, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.
No one's gonna